prosperity, contentment, forevermore. Amen. 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 The greatest is good. Y'all already know. That's it. To all the beloved across the realm. Snap. I'm gonna run that back one more time. Let a few more people come on in. You want to share this on your Facebook? I can't share it with, where I'm at with audio. Sounds muffled. All right. Can y'all hear me now? Check, check. Can y'all hear me? Unfortunately, I do not have my equipment, so I'm going off of the laptop microphone. Okay. Okay. It was probably the music. The music was probably messing it up. Um, I just felt like playing some music this go around. Okay, much better. Appreciate it. Yeah, because the music was coming from the computer. It probably is muffling. Even my like the pixels I can see is low grade from my end anyway. Uh, normally it's 1080. It's at like 720. So I don't know. Um, unfortunately, I do not have my engineer here with I today. My eldest son. Um, he as at a a special an annual occasion that he has with his friends. So I'm doing this solo. I do have of course I got my partner joined at the hip. She's always nearby, so she's right over here, and I got my youngest son with I as well. But love to all, Mësët to all the beloved across the realm. This is long overdue, y'all. This is long overdue, and I know it's Memorial Day weekend. Um, but I don't know if it's because I haven't taught in. I mean, it probably is almost a month. It's probably almost a whole moon cycle. To be honest with you, it might be the longest I ever went without coming on and teaching. It was just so much. It was one thing, nothing negative. I mean, there's always gonna be adversaries, energetic adversaries. Like the scripture in the Bible says in Ephesians 6:12, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and an unseen realm. But they really spookify it like it's, yes, there are entities and Gregories and this and that and thought forms. But it's not how they made you think. It's really all energy. It's all energy. So when we say like, oh, this person is attacking but I know it's not them, the real them. They're being used by another spirit. It's not necessarily like they got some archon behind them just pulling strings. It's the energy. They have given their free will over to resonate with this energy, and it's making them feel good. And half the time it's not even making, I'm talking about physically making them feel good. And half the time it doesn't even do that. It's just like drugs. Start out feeling good. It doesn't matter what drug. It does, even marijuana, whatever. It starts out different than what it ends up being that if you use it constantly. Okay. Even marijuana has its place as spiritually. It's all, everything here is not just for consumption, like just to do it. If I sit here and eat potatoes every single day, all day, my body can shut down off of potatoes. Fact. Water. I remember years back when I was, a little younger, they had some kind of water drinking contest, and like two girls actually passed on from drinking too much water. So it's too much of any. That's why it's the scales of my eye. It's the balance, and right in this moment, okay. This sacred feminine has to rise. It's just where we're at. If we were at a different moment, it would be the opposite. If the sacred feminine turned into the divine feminine, and it would, it got over sexual, turned into this lust-filled, orgy propelled, all, using men as tools and this and that and abusing power, then we would be sitting here speaking about the rise of the sacred masculine. But see, even the sacred masculine needs to repair itself. That's the story of Cain and Abel, Ishmael, Isaac, Esau, Jacob. It's because that is how they split. First of all, they just did away with the feminine energy, shoved it under the rug, because it is the most powerful energy, and it's because it's the origin, Gain, the or Gain, like gynecologist, like the Yoni-verse, okay, like the womb of the great mother, the womb that surrounds all. It's the circle that encompasses all, but yet has no circumference. It permeates all, yet you cannot see it. You can only feel it. And that's the mind, through the mind of your heart, okay, and your first eye. And that's why these two have to be aligned. All right. And the throat and the first eye are connected. That's why they're both blue. They run on a blue frequency. Okay, a wave, a frequency that coincides with the wavelength. Okay, so right here is your sword. That's, if you want to get into archangels and things, this is Michael. It's even Christ coming with the great sword in his mouth. They talking about Jesus. Jesus is coming back. He's going down in the clouds. But are they finishing the sentence? First of all, it never says Jesus is coming back anywhere. He even said himself, one greater than I is coming. One. The word means one. The word means united. the Greek word that's used when he said one. It means united, one or more united as one. So he's saying there's an energy coming that is greater than just I. All right. It's a united front. People say like to call it 144,000. All right. Could it be just 144,000 souls that's going to graduate on this graduation? Possibly. But there's original souls that are here that already graduated, that are only here to anchor in the energy of the age of Aquarius, because there's a splitting, see, because the age of Aquarius can be ruled by Saturn or Uranus. I pronounce it Uranus. People call it Orianus. I really haven't heard Uranus since I was younger. But I pronounce it Uranus. But some people say Uranus or I've heard Uranus. But I say Uranus. So the splitting of the timelines, like what's called the Hopi prophecy, is speaking of there's a group of people that's going to be ruled by Saturn, which is the transhumanists, those that are in a trance, stuck in time. And then you have those that are not going to be ruled by anything. They're just going to be balanced. The scales will be balanced. The sacred feminine will rise where it should be, and the sacred masculine will be repaired where it should be. And that is Uranus returning as the pole star in Cancer. Because if you don't know, the pole star is where all the white light comes through out. Okay? White light carries all the visible lights, the light spectrum. Okay? White light can carry all the visible lights. Black light can carry all spectrums, all lights, all the way across the board. Every ray. X-ray, ultraviolet ray, gamma ray, what else? Infrared ray. They can carry all that because the black light is a vibration. It's not a light. It's a vibration. So that's what they call the word. They tell you in the Bible, the word was with God, and I'm not trying to mock, but yada yada yada. So basically, we're gonna jump right into it because this, I don't even know how many parts it's gonna be. This is gonna be one of, in my opinion. Now look, I'm very physically tired right now, but I'm not spiritually tired. I'm just, my avatar is tired right now. But I said, nope, I'm not waiting any longer. We're going to put this out. I'm going to get out what I got right now. It began all about Saturn. This teaching, like anyone that knows who's been rocking here for, I ain't even going to say day one, just for long enough, knows that I do not just sit around and think. I'm not a content creator. Okay. It's just given. Sometimes it's meant for me to, as much as I'd be, desiring to come on and teach. Everything is when you're in alignment, it's going to happen how it's supposed to happen. Okay, for I to be a master teacher, I also have to be a master student. And a lot of moments, that takes not necessarily reading books and things. It just takes being still, observing, being still, Okay. And although I've been physically traveling, my spirit has been just observing and being still. Okay. Still emanating love, forgiveness, unity. But that's what's been going on. So, I don't use the word sabbatical, so I'm not going to say that. But this teaching started out as just Saturn. It was given to me. People say downloads, but really it's uploads, because what you're doing is accessing. People also say the Akashic records, like it's somewhere in the halls of Amenti. Let Billy Carson tell it. He'll tell you, he astral projected to the halls of Amenti under the Sphinx somewhere. It's all in your light code DNA, everything. You have access to every single ancestor that has ever incarnated, including you. Including the last, every single moment you've ever been here or anywhere. You always be, you always are. Okay, you're always in the eternal now, because you're an eternal soul. Therefore, you have access to all of that. It's just, is it necessary for you to access it? And do you know how? Do you know how? And really, the most vital part of that is the first part. Is it necessary? That's why most can't remember anything about any past lives or anything, because that's how it's supposed to be. Oh, the Archons wiped your mind clean, and you went into the light, and they just swiped your mind, and this. Now, do they do things to, push that? Yeah, of course. Like in the hospital room, it's a well-known fact that you're supposed to be birthed into ambient light, candlelight, natural light. All right. And not laying down. Your mother is supposed to be standing up, squatting down with two women next to her, and one underneath. All right. A doula, or in today's language, a midwife, to, catch the baby into the water. And then the mother and the baby should spend at least 12 hours in the water. Babies can actually stay. If babies that are be earthed into water can actually breathe underwater, and you can slowly bring them up. But that umbilical cord is not meant to be cut. It's really not meant to be cut for 24 hours, but at least 12. What's the first thing they do? Come here, Dad. Come here. Come here, distorted masculine. Come on, distorted masculine. Here's the scissors. Snip. Cainable. Snip. Get her away from the mother. The father. Come on, father. The father. Come shed this blood, amniotic fluid. First thing. Come on, father. Come on. Snip. Mom can't even go to the bosom of this baby's great mother here on earth. Can't even go to, oh, hold on, we got to do this. We got to get, because just in case, we got to rub this in the eyes, and we got to do this, and we got to do this and this and this. Oh, we need the blood. We need to stamp their soul onto the 2D. We need their soul of their foot stamped onto 2D, a lower dimension. All ritual. What is a ritual? It's sphi ritual without the sphi, without the phi. The S is always just representing the wave. So the sphi, SPHI, is the wave. The signature of the phi, which is the feminine energy. So if you Take that off, all you got is a ritual. That's what a ritual is. It's an exercise to manifest and produce a result without source. That's what a ritual is. The Great Mother don't want your rituals. You don't have to do anything except be huge. They tell you the exact opposite of the truth. You was born into sin. No, you was born into sine waves. Sine. And it also means you those who were born when the moon was here. That was also one of the phrases which it meant, because they called the moon sin. Okay, and Sumer. So when the hijack came from Atlantis from the last flood, when the surviving priesthood came from Atlantis and docked in Mesopotamia, and they got going again with the little beehive, their hive mind, the patriarch takeover. They got going, the Eden, and all of that. Okay, and I've always known in my heart that this whole Nibiru thing was connected to Saturn, but it's kind of on me because I never asked. But I knew it was always, I knew already, but I never asked, like, show me. Greatest of Spirit, can you show me? So that if it is your will that I may show others, and that's what we're going to do. Codes have been cracked. I mean, this teaching has just went so much further than what I thought it was going to be. I knew it was going to be good when I started getting, accessing the light codes nonstop. I can't even keep up. 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. I'm getting up. My knees is buckling. I've been sitting so long. I knew it was going to be good, but then it started to take turns and twists, and I'm like, wow, it's starting to blow my mind. It's starting to blow my mind. And that's how I know it's going to be one of those teachings that's just great. So now we are going to be, one thing about it is I'm not really a note reader. I do, I'm someone who teaches with passion and from the heart. So sometimes I write notes, and then when I go back to read them, I can't really follow them. So we might be a little all over the place if I'm trying to stick exactly to the notes. So we're just going to let the Great Spirit flow. Okay. The notes are just going to guide a little bit, bring me back on track here and there. But we're going to be taking trips everywhere. So if it seems like I'm going somewhere left field and like, why did he go from here to here? Just know it's all finna come together in the end. Okay. So with that being said, to everyone that came in, Mësët, to all the beloved across the realm, just know there's no worries. Fear not. Okay. The only fear that you should be accessing is fire, earth, air, and rivers of living water. Okay. That's the only fear that we access. Fire, earth, air, and rivers of living water. Okay. There's no scared. There's only sacred. We're not scared of nothing. We have no scared energy at all. We only have sacred energy. Okay. We don't have divine energy. Okay. I know a lot of you may use these words. Don't take it personal. Don't take it. I'm not going to tell you to stop using the words because you have free will. That's between you and what I call the Great Mother. Okay, that's between you and the greatest of spirit. I don't have the authority to tell you, don't say this word. If you still saying amen, I love you, but I gotta tell you where it comes from. It means the hidden one, and all it means the new moon. Moon. That's all amen means, is the new moon. Every month, they will celebrate the new moon. Not just, and when I say they, I don't mean just the Jews, because the Jews, that name has been used going back to the Jedi or the Jedi, the Jed pillar. That name goes back. So does Yehuda. Everybody talks about Yehuda, the tribe of Yehuda, talking about the tribe of Judah. There was Yehudans 6,000-7,000 years ago that had nothing to do with it. Isis, Ra, and El, Hebrews, and all of this man-made nonsense. Division, double vision, die vision. You're gonna die vision. That's what it boils down to. Okay. It's a cycle. They reusing these names. These things have been used. You can't even fathom it. Listen, time is not on a line. That's the masculine. That's the masked lion. That's a lie. Time is not from it started here and it's going this way. No, it's the meta symbol. It's the 8. It's the Apep. It's the analemma. And they are stuck here. Now they will reveal the truth to you. They don't listen. They keeping track. You see them watches they had on, the Anunnaki, them little watches, the cosmic watches. That's because they're literally creating timelines, as I showed in the teaching I did on archaics, with the alphabet, the original alphabet, alpha beta system. I showed how they split and used the pyramids to actually make another timeline. That's what the pyramids did. They were doing it single file at first, and then they just completely same thing the Mayans did. Whole civilization disappeared. Same thing that the Tamarians did with the Great Pyramid. It's tech, but it's not what they're telling you. Okay, it's for the people that have severed that umbilical cord, the greatest of spirit to source. They're trying to find a way out of here. Just like Elon Musk, who, if you don't know, is Marduk. See, they're stuck in bodies. Enki, Enlil, all of them, they're stuck in bodies now. All them brother stories, that's them. That's them getting reincarnated. That's them. It's Enki and Enlil. They played around, and karma came back and got them. So the same bodies that they made and tried to clone and do this and that, they are in now. Why do you think it's the only stories that is given to you? Why do you think you keep hearing about these brothers? From the beginning of what they tell you is the big, like, writing and things in Mesopotamia, ancient Sumer. All you hear about are these brothers. One is the oldest, but he gets usurped. That's Enki, Ea. And then you got one who is the younger brother, but he gets everything because of his mother, who is really his dad's sister. Why do you think all the elites do the same thing with the transgenderism, Michael Obama, and this and that, and the related, and the queen and all that? They're inbred. You can't look at the queen and what's Charles? They got the same face. I mean, I forget. I don't even know their names. All of them got the same face, and even the ones that, like, they supposedly meet and marry, they got the same face. The Kissingers, the Rothschilds, all of them, the DuPonts. Now, we don't even get to see the Orsini's and all the Eenies and Neenies and Genies because they're behind the scenes. Okay? Little weenies behind the scenes. You don't even get to see them, so we don't even know what they look like. That's who you call the black nobility. Zoroastrians. Okay. Saturnal order. Now, the ancient priesthood, as far as we can go access without accessing your light codes, would be the Chaldeans. We can go back 28,000 years with the Chaldean priesthood, and they have records. If you don't know what records are, a record is a re-chord. What's a chord? A chord is a vibration. The vibrations get recorded in the sky. So everything up, all them lights up there are something that happened down here. As above, so it is below. As it is below, so it is above. What is loosed in heaven is loosed on earth. And in reverse. So the whole story with the original 48 constellations, the reason that, see, NASA's telling you that it's 88 constellations now. They're not lying. They're liars, but they're not lying. It's just how they're telling you, like, how it is and how it's set up. The reason it's 88 is because it's more re-chords up there. We closer to the changeover, so now more has been recorded. So there's more records up there. That's a clock, a timekeeping system, and a record system. It starts with the Argo, the arc. What they're not telling you is that arc is the Archons, those that got on the ark or the Argo, and came from what we call Saturn, on the bigger Earth, not a planet somewhere. It's from the bigger Earth. They got so intelligent and they merged with technology, as Elon Musk is leading the way, who is Marduk. Okay, now there's two Marduks. One is Enki's son and one is Enlil's son. Enki's son, or Yah's son, Marduk, is known as Ra. Okay, now later when he got kicked out of Egypt, it got changed to Amen Ra, Amun Ra, right? Amun Ra is Amen Ra is the same as Solomon. It's the same. It's just different words, same meaning. Sun, earth, moon. Amen Ra. Okay, Amun Ra. The only thing is missing is the earth part with the Amun Ra. Amen means the hidden one, which is just the new moon. When it's a new moon, people got full moons and new moons mixed up. A new moon is when there's no moon in the sky. Okay? It's not a full moon. New moon is when there's nothing. You don't see it. All right? The hidden one. Okay? That's the reflection of you. So your reflection is hidden. And that's actually when people do the most moon, what's called moon magic. Not on the full moons. Full moons is just, if you want, is reverberating back to yourself. The reflection, it's when full moons is when you can manifest the quickest. It's straight back reflect. But a new moon, you don't. It's even quicker because it don't have to go anywhere. It's all internal. It's not reflecting off anything. It's staying right here. So that's why I don't partake in it personally. I'm a very transparent person. I don't partake in any kind of magic, anything. Okay. I am the magic. Okay. I heard an awesome quote the other day. about the Illuminati. You know what the Illuminati's biggest secret is? That they're not the Illuminati, that you are. That you're the illuminated ones. We're the illuminated ones. The biggest secret of the Illuminati is they're not even the Illuminati. They too dark. They're separated from the light. How can you be the illuminated ones when you're separated? You're eternally separated. The biggest secret is you are the Illuminati. It just means enlightened ones, the illuminated ones. Okay, but you have to also know what source is. And source is the triple black seed of the mother. Okay. Not the abyss and all that, the dark and evil. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, as I said earlier, the black light that has every single wave, every ray, everything, every vibration, every hertz, high, low, medium, this has, it's the all. It's where all comes from and all returns, the womb. Where our minds begin, where organic minds begin, and all is mind. You're in your own mind right here, right now. This is all in your mind. This is all in your mind. All of this. I'm not saying it. So everyone talking about simulation theory. We're in a sim. Yeah, you in your mind. You're not plugged into some game. It's you, beloved. You are experiencing every experience. How can you be the all if you don't experience all, including not knowing what it feels like to be the all? To be the all, to be the source, the all-knowing, omnipotent, omnipresent, omnipotent, this, that, the other. You also got to know ignorance. You have to know what it feels like not to know. That's what this is about. One of the things this is about. So look, Enuma Elish. This is pretty much where everyone gets their Sumerian information from, or Zechariah Sitchin, who is a gatekeeper who went to the same college that all the gatekeepers go to. Zechariah Sitchin put out whole books, mixed truth with fantasy. Zechariah Sitchin books is pretty much like half nonfiction, half fiction. This dude just started writing like whatever he wanted to, pretty much, in his books. Okay. Some of it was real. He would read or try to read the cuneiform. Okay. And then, like, the other half, he would just fill in like whatever. So Zechariah Sitchin is not read. Hey, I'm not gonna tell you not to read his books. Read them, but have the eye to see. Gatekeeper, 100%. Billy Carson, gatekeeper, 100%. And there's also some gatekeepers don't even know they're gatekeepers. Don't even know because the ego has blinded them. Because all they're doing is logic. Spitting out logic, masculine, line, masculine, line. You gotta tap into the other side, my friend. Or you will be back. As good as the person you are, I love you. You might be the awesome, full of love, funny, cool to hang out with, don't cuss, nothing, don't drink, don't smoke. But if that's the only energy that you can embrace, you're going to have to come back because you haven't learned to embrace the all. You haven't got that balance back, and you have to get balance to get wholeness. And it starts with love, forgiveness, remember, repair. That's why I say what I said. I don't just put phrases together to sound cool. Mësët, I don't like it's my slogan or something. No, I don't do that. When I tell you love, balance, and wholeness, it's a reason. Even when every comment I put, feather, tree, green heart, sprout. You think I just randomly picked? That's a message. That's a message that I'm giving you to the real way we communicate. Feather, rise above your higher self. Okay, that's what that represents. Tree of life. You don't see two trees. Tree of life. Green heart. Although I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, because death ain't real. It's a shadow. That's the light shining on me and making a shadow, and they're calling it death. So as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I still lay down in green pastures wherever I go because of my heart energy, which is green. So that means anywhere I lay, it don't matter if I'm in the slums, I'm laying down in a green pasture because my heart is emanating. Don't matter where I'm at. I could be in a house full of hate. When all that stuff, when I shared something, I'm going to share 2 personal things on here, or 3. And the whole time I've been teaching online. And I had people say, I can't believe you're still around them in that house. And it doesn't matter. I can lay down anywhere around anyone. I've been in prison and my cellmate, my bunkmate was a triple murderer. He got double life plus 35 years. I was in prison for a year and some change with a murderer as my cellmate, and I laid down in a green pasture. No fear, not even an ounce, ever. I didn't lose no sleep, nothing. Okay, and this was even before I was really truly in full alignment. Okay. Enuma Elish, right? They tell you it's 5,000 years old, this and that. Well, really, it was found in around 1900 BC. Still way older than the Bible, because the Bible not that old. The Bible not even old at all. But the Enuma Elish is like the New Testament of the Sumerian tablets. The Old Testament is the Atrahasis. Okay. Old Testament, Atrahasis, New Testament, Enuma Elish. The concept changed from Enlil to Marduk. That's the biggest difference. Enlil was running the show, and then it went to Marduk, aka Ra. Okay. Ra or Marduk was the one that let them build up the towers in Babylon and this and that. What was that? Another way they was trying to escape. They were just using us as their hands. It wasn't us trying to act like we was better than God. That story they tell you, or they was trying to be better than God. No, we was being used again, just like what they did to Lemuria. When they sunk Lemuria and they used geomancy and Terra formed their crater here called Atlantis 2.0. When they made Atlantis here, and they used geomancy to put us all in this daze while our continent was sinking, and we were, everyone that survived made their way to Atlantis, and they split us up into groups of feminine energy and masculine energy, and you were divided, and you fueled their system. You was in a daze. Atlantis. If anybody tells you they're from Atlantis or they're an Atlantean, this and that, man, either they're delusional or they're unveiling to you who they truly are. 369 Saturnic energy, parasitic to us. Okay, that's what that is. Nothing good came from Atlantis. And guess who it was ran by? Enki. They just called what known as Poseidon by the Greeks. See, the Greeks wrote everything down. Okay. Prior to, see, people ask all the time, if we were so in tune, Chief, why did it seem like writing started in the Sumer? Because we didn't write things down. Why? When we were so in tune, it was written on our heart and everything. It's written in light. We knew how to access the light codes. We gotta write something down for it. That's where they get you with Ra-Legion. Legion being the group of false entities, deities, thought forms, this, that aren't connected to source, but they come as the light, Ra, radiation. Ra-Legion. Or re-legion, the legion again and again and again and again. It's the same characters over and over. Like I told you, and I think I broke it down in another teaching. Elon Musk, the scum of Elon, is Marduk. Okay? He's the Doge, the Duke of energy. Just like the Babylon Tower, that was energy. Ziggurat. They trying to get out of here interdimensionally. There ain't no balls floating around, this and that. You might see circular things, just like if you look into our DNA and cells and things, you will see circular things. But that does not confirm that we are floating around and everything you see that's circular is floating around. Why they don't ever see the backside of anything? Not just the moon. They don't see the backside of the sun. They don't see the backside of any planet, wandering star. You don't see the backside of Aquarius. You don't see the backside of Taurus. You don't see the backside of nothing because it's all reflecting. How you going to see the backside of a mirror? If I don't turn around while you're looking at right here, how you going to see the backside of me? But I'm just coming by every day like this. We spinning. We spinning, y'all. We spinning. You just can't feel it. 1,000 miles per hour, 666,000 miles per hour forward. Spinning 1,000 miles. You can't feel it. You can't see it. You can't. It just don't. You got to have faith in the seance, aka science. No. How about you go internal and trust the source who you are a child of? That means you're a part of. Is your child not a part of you? What is loosed in heaven is loosed on earth, as it is above, so it is below. If your child's a part of you, then aren't you a part of the great mother? If you come from the all, is the all not in you? Am I not in my child? In my grandchildren who aren't even incarnated here yet? Still gonna have me in them. And it's not even me. It's you. It's you. It's you and I. You and I verse. It's all of us. Right? Now, basically, priestesses, right? Because they went to the woman. It was priestesses who ran the show. There's something called the Great Conjunction, and it's when the light, they call them wandering stars. Before that, it was wandering suns. Before that, they actually was all called Saturns, believe it or not. At one point, not the word Saturn, because Saturn is a Roman word. but the meaning for Saturn, they were all called that word at one point. All right. Then it got changed to wandering stars in English, to what the English equivalent. So basically, it's a light signature. That's why they took them Nikons off. They stopped selling them Nikons. They can make them better and better and better, but people were zooming in and seeing the real energy signatures. That's why you never see the back of one. If you see the back of something, they're lying to you, and it's CGI. They got it up. They got software already on all them telescopes and everything. If you're looking in a telescope and you can see Saturn with the rings and how it looks like a still object like NASA, then that telescope you got, it has software on that automatically takes the image and changes it to CGI instantly for your eyeball. Okay. So there's something called the Great Conjunction, and it's when Saturn and Jupiter are in Pisces. Okay? The two big fish. The big fish, Saturn and Jupiter. Okay? Kronos and Zeus. All right? Enlil and you could make an argument. There's an argument. People say Uranus is Anu. It gets a little shady there, so I'm not gonna take it there. But basically, it's when Saturn and Jupiter, a conjunction. If you don't know, a conjunction is just when the two lights are within 8 degrees of each other, which is about a moon. I think it's like half moon size of a half moon. When they're that close to each other, that's a conjunction. So the Great Conjunction is when Saturn and Jupiter are within 8 degrees of each other in Pisces. Only in Pisces. Okay. Pisces is ruled or governed by Jupiter. All right. So during the Great Conjunction, this is where the story comes from that Zeus usurps Kronos, as Kronos usurped Uranus. Okay. By chopping off his manhood. You've heard this. And that's the same story as Enki, Enlil, and Anu. Anu, they tell you to be the king of Nibiru, he had to fight Alelu. If you don't know the Sumerian tablets. Anu to be the most high, Anunnaki, he had to physically get into a fight with the other king, Alelu, who was actually supposedly the first Anunnaki to come into this realm, this dimension. He was fleeing from Nibiru. So Anu beat him, but Alelu actually bit his manhood off. Bit it off. Okay. Same story with the Greeks, with Saturn and Uranus, and then even Jupiter and Saturn. It's about the father it's about the son usurping the father as well. Not just the two brothers. It's about the son usurping the father. Okay. As Jacob did to Isaac. When Jacob and his mom put the fur on to act like they was Esau and his dad was dying, and they go in there and they lie to him and and bring him soup and all this and that just to get his wealth. Money, sheep and goats and stuff, his livestock. But they tell you Jacob is the chosen one. I love Jacob, but I hate Esau. But this man, Jacob, walking around scared to death of Esau, man, he's going to kill me when he see me. Here come Esau, bigger, badder, more in tune with the natural, organic energy, everything. The nature man, the red man, Edom. Edom is the same meaning as Adam. The white man is Edom. The white man is Edom. It means red man. So here come Esau, bigger, badder, stronger, all of that. Jacob's scared to death. He's going to kill me, and I deserve it. I deserve to die. I deserve it. He's crying like a little sis. He was a nerd. He was a scientist. The etymology of the story in the Bible says he was in the tent mixing up the pottage. They tell you it's soup. It's not soup. He was making literal source pharmakia. This man was making potions with his mother. Okay? He tricked his dying father. But yet they're teaching Christianity that this is the chosen one, and God loved Jacob but hated Esau. Hated? But then when Esau come back, what did he do? He hugged his brother, forgave him, said, man, you can see everything that's mine. You can have that, bro. I don't care about none of this. Guess what? That's what Emmanuel said, aka what everybody called Jesus. Emmanuel said, you searching in these books and scriptures and stuff, thinking in them you're going to find eternal life, but they are they that witness of me. So what he's telling you, don't matter if you're reading the Bible, the Quran, Dr. Seuss, anything good is the Christos energy or the light of this world, is what he was trying to tell you. He ain't saying that's me. I'm Jesus. Every time you see something good, it's me. That's pride. That's arrogance and pride. If that was me, I did it. I did that. I did that. I did that. I did that. I did this all. Without me, all y'all burning in hell. I did this. I did that. I did this. I did that. That's literally anti-Christic. The true Christ energy is selfless. He don't want your worship. Jesus, 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 Jesus. He don't want that. If he was here sitting next to you, he'd probably say that was a good song, but I don't need all that. Sing about the source. Sing about this woman right here that's pregnant. Sing about them. Sing about them animals out there grazing. Sing about the water you just drank. Sing about the laughter you just shared. The family that you have. And friends are family that you get to choose. So they're family too. All right. There's a difference between family and relatives. Okay. Relatives are somebody that just happened to be incarnated into your particular incarnation, related somehow, marriage or blood. That's a relative. All relatives, not family. All skin folk and kinfolk. But family is who you truly love and who truly loves you. And friends are family that you get to choose. So sometimes friends can be closer than family. And Emmanuel said that. He said that as well. So there's a lot of gems. A lot of people think I'm like, because I've cracked the whole Biblicanism thing, the idolatry part. They think I'm like anti-Bible or something. No, it's not that. It's just I'm anti-idolatry, anything. And the main things in today's world, the main narrative, it's all biblical. Everything Trump and them doing, they know. They know that everybody, especially in the West, is going off the Bible. Everyone's waiting on the end of the world, the Antichrist, the mark of the beast, this and that, and they're going to use your God power to manifest whatever they want, if they can deceive you. But that's why there's souls here that already graduated that are here to encore in the true A tone, the alpha tone, the atonement, the alpha tone of the mental, the mind, the source code. Here to anchor it in. Because this is the U-turn. You either graduating or you making the U-turn and you finna go on down the line again, make another U-turn a day. Because after the age of Aquarius is the age of Capricorn. And guess what that is? That is wholly ruled by Saturn. Ain't no Uranus. That means you starting from the bottom. Started from the bottom. Now you here. It's the goat that got to climb the mountain of incarnations again. That's why they flipped the star. Put the point of the star going down. And they got the Baphomet, which is actually the womb. It's actually an inverted womb. The horns of the fallopian tubes, the ears of the uterus, and the ears of the ovaries. I mean, it's easy. It's plain to see. What they're doing is they flip that star and they're putting material, the 3D, over in the heavenly realms. They want you stuck here with them because they're stuck. In time, they've severed the greatest of spirit. That's why they have to do rituals. They ain't doing spiritual. They're not spiritual. They're doing rituals. Ceremonies, moonies. All right. So every time that there's a great conjunction, that means Saturn and Jupiter are within 8 degrees in Pisces. The high priestesses or priests would know that a messianic figure is about to incarnate. Could be a bunch, could be spread across the world, or could be one. But they know that within the next few years, usually within 3, from that great conjunction, when Jupiter basically usurps Saturn's orbit. Now, when I say orbit, I'm just using their words, but really it's just the lights reflected. It's just how we see the lights. That's it. The angles. That's why Freemasonry with the square and the compass, because they know it's all angles of lights and reflections and all that sacred geometry, right? Because they know the truth and still choose to go against the source. So in Anno Mundi 2365, Anno Mundi just means in the year of the world. We break the word down, it's Anu Mundi. Anu, like Anu world order, and like Anu the Most High. So Anno Mundi 2365, the year Anno Mundi 2365 means in the year of the world. So let's break that word down. Anu Mundi. All right. So we know what moon is. It has not changed. Moon. So why are they calling moon the world? Because they knew that the moon was the reflection of the bigger earth. What I've been telling you all along. The ancestors have known this. How do you think I access the truth? Brother Wim did awesome. He's done his work here, and he's not finished. But Brother Wim was called to be the one that came with the visuals that really opened up people to really know this. See, I don't make videos with edits and all that. I'm a teacher. Mercury, messenger. I come with the spoken word. Okay. Brother Wim, if you don't know who Brother Wim is, I'm sure someone can tell you in the comments. He comes with the visuals and all that, puts it together. He's an artist. It's art. Okay. So the ancestors, it's not anything new. It's new because they knew. Okay. How they say there's nothing new under the sun. Yes, it is. It's all new. See how they flip the words on you? Nothing new. No, it's nothing new in time. But when you're the sun, when you're the light of the world, everything is new. And they tell you, what they say about the Christ energy? When you're born again, aka when you really tap into the Christ energy, all things become new. All things become new, known. You tap in, you remember, You become a member again with everything. All of us, the you and I verse. Okay, so all things are new. Okay, under the sun. They want it to be nothing new. They don't want you. There's nothing new under the sun. No, how about it's everything? Everything's new. All things are new. How about that one? So Anno Mundi just means the moon means world, actually. And all right. So they know that the moon was a reflection of the entire bigger Earth, Tiamat. Okay. The solar system. From here to Saturn. All right, from Mercury to Saturn is on one plane. The DI just means combination of two parts separate. So what they telling you, it says in the year of the world, that goes with the story of Marduk slaying Tiamat and cutting it in half. That's when they made the unnatural firmament. That's when they separated the waters, the story that you have. Tiamat is a water world. You're breathing water right now. They just had broken it into different labels, just like they break, fear into different sub-labels. Anxiety, stress, nervous. No, it's fear. You scared. Say you scared. You're not nervous. You're not anxiety. You're not depressed. You're scared. So what they did was they broke this down in all these different stories. The same story. Ra slayed a pet, the big serpent. That's just the natural energy. At that moment, that the snake was not evil. The serpent represented the great mother and being born again, the Christos energy. At that time, it was called the Heru energy. Then the hero, then the Chyros, then the Christos, and then the Christ. It's in all the way across the board. And if you from over here and you hear their story, you'll say, "Oh, that's Lucifer. That's not the Christ. That's the story. That's satanic. That's Lucifer." Just because you're not from over there. You don't know. You only know what was given to you. We're the chosen ones. Yo, you're a pagan. You're a Gentile. You're Goyim. What? Who are you gonna tell me who I am? What? Did you come out of a womb? A lot of them didn't, actually. The blue bloods, they don't come out of womb. That's why I do cesarean section. That's a womb, but they don't come out of the sacred yoni. They don't come out. They don't have that full natural organic energy be earthed. They got to get cut out because they have to have an external birth because everything about insects is external. They lay eggs. They're insectoid. They're insect minds, hive minds. They got to lay eggs. So they got to, that's what the cesarean, the Julius Caesar, it ain't Julius. It was all the Caesars. Nero, all of them. They would split. They would not allow them to have an organic, natural fee energy be earth. They would have to take them out so they could have a 3-6-9 energy birth in like an egg. They would keep the sac intact and they would place them on the side, and then they would slit it open like a bug coming out of an egg. That's why the Romans, again, Brother Wim shows a good video. Look up on his Rumble page, portal of the sun portal of the parasite, something like that. Explains it very well. Shows how the Romans had all the knights and all that stuff. It's all dressed like insects, all their armor, shields, even to this day, the little sports cars that everybody is so infatuated with, looks like beetles and bugs and everything. It's odd. He got a video. He said, when the last time you seen a bear, a king bear, come with 10,000 bears behind him to take over the bears in this woods? Doesn't happen. That's insect behavior. Same as the Romans. Same as the Anunnaki. Oh, they tell you about the thrones of God and the Most High and Yahweh, and he's got the cherubim around him. They got 6 wings. Well, ain't no birds, ain't no natural animals down here got 6 wings. That's insects. They talking about dragonflies and things like that. Wasps and things. Insects. They ain't talking about all them things that they telling you, angels surrounding the throne of God and all that. 4 faces and this and that. Now, yeah, a lot can be to do with astrotheology, as Brother Micah showed on the presentation that he did on here. But it also has a lot of factual code in it. They're letting you know they're parasites. I mean, anybody calls himself the Lord of Hosts. Who needs a host? Only thing need a host is a parasite. All right. Same thing I always tell you. Only predators prey. Well, what are you saying, Iron Bush? We shouldn't pray? No. I'm just saying you don't go outside of yourself. Who are you talking to? It's in here. How do you think, when I was a child, how is this man, Sky Daddy, up there answering every single prayer? Because it don't gotta go nowhere. Because it's your higher self that's actually interceding for you, aka your soul, who is still in the pleroma. That's why it's your higher self. It's still in the heavenly vibration. That's why you can't see it. Some of us do. Some of us have. I have. I'll be real with you. I have seen my higher self. I have. It was pretty cool. And I don't take any substances, none of that. I don't take, yes, I have, I am initiated shaman. All right. I am a legit shaman. It's just another word for priest. But I'm not, ain't none of that stuff you done read about, that you got to take ayahuasca and this and that, and you got to go on some trip through the astral plane. No. It's about healing, repairing a gift. It's about tapping into your gift. So some of y'all shamans don't even know it. The label don't matter. Anything that ends with L really don't matter. Label. There you go again. The lab of L. Elements. Elements are from the mind of L. Who is L? Saturn. We're going to get into it. Oh, I see this going to go like 5. This is going to be a 5-part teaching. I ain't even 2 lines into the notes. All right. So yeah, in the year of the world, Anno Mundi 2365 means in the year of the world. Anno Mundi actually just means the moon divided. The moon is showing you the reflection of the earth. It's just they divide the waters of Tiamat. It's the same story as Marduk cutting Tiamat in half. It's the story of Ra slaying a Pep. It's the same story over and okay. Nibiru smashing into what is it called? I can't even remember. Nibiru smashing into begins with an M. I don't know, all that Dwight York crap. And that's what it is, crap. So anybody, if you're watching Dwight York, I'm gonna tell you straight up, it's crap. the holy tablets and all that's crap. So there's some good brothers on here that I love, absolutely love. There's chiefs that I talk to. There's chiefs that I speak to once a month. Once every moon we speak. We have a meeting of the chiefs. I'm I don't want to say obligated, but we check in with each other about once a moon. And there are chiefs that are really highly into that, you know, as they would call him, Dr. Malachi Z. York, Dwight. Just call him Dwight. That's what I call him, Dwight. He was delusional. Now, so in Anno Mooney 2365, that's the last time that, or that's one of the times where the great conjunction Saturn and Jupiter and Pisces happened. And guess who came? Moses, who they call Moses, aka Amenhotep IV, aka Akhenaten. Okay, so the Jews place creation at 3,007. I'm just going to say it, 3761 BC. So 3,761 BC. They say that's when the Earth began. Okay. And the new year is called Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah, or Rosh Hashanah. Most people say Rosh Hashanah, but it's Rosh Hashanah. Okay. That's their new year. Their new year was October 3rd, 2024. And so the current year, they believe the world is 5,785 years old on October 3rd. Rosh Hashanah. Okay. And they believe the world was made the second day of the month they call Tishri, which is September. Okay. September just means the 7 ambers, 7 lights. Okay. So they believe that's when the world was separate. That's when their God, the Demiurge, Demiurge just means demerging the light. See, instead of re-merging and uniting the light, the Demiurge demerges the light. It's a lens. It's an eye. Okay? Divergent. They even come out with that movie, Divergent, like it's good. Like if you're divergent, man, like that's cool. That's good. Psyop. You should be convergent. Oh, con. I thought con was like a con artist. No. See how they get you? The words, the wordplay. Convergent is when the light comes together, unites, comes back. 7 become 1. So September is the 7 ambers. Okay. Then you got October, which is the 8. Ober just means it's same thing as almost like the word over. It just has to do with harvest. Okay. So the 8th, the moon of the harvest. And then you have November, which is the 9th amber. Okay. And then you have and that's why they say like November with Scorpios, now they're saying it's like Pluto instead of Mars. You know, the whole Pluto thing, but that's a whole nother story. And then December is now the 12th month, but so Deca or December, the 10th amber. Well, what's amber light? What is amber light? It's the moon. It's the moon, the reflection. It's the 10th reflection. December, the Deca amber. The 10th reflection of the moon. Okay, not Nov. That's 9. Octagon, like a stop sign. That's 8. Sept, 7. You see what they did? Doesn't take a rocket scientist. All right. There is no rocket scientist. But so the Jews placed creation at 3761 BC, but the Eastern Orthodox Church says 5509 BC. Okay, and that's called the Byzantine era, which just means Eastern Romans. Fancy word for the Eastern Romans. That's all. So the Eastern Orthodox Church. And they actually built St. Nicholas is the Eastern Orthodox Church where it's right next to the old 9/11. It's right there next to the 9/11 site. That's one of the pieces of the Ben stone is in that church, just to let you know. Miscellaneous fact. The Eastern Orthodox Church has a piece of the Ben stone at the old site of 9/11. It's in the St. Nicholas church or cathedral or whatever they call it. Okay. So now we're going to go to what's called Rosh Hashanah. So Rosh, the word Rosh is Rosh, Resh, Kresh, Krosh, or Christ. All right. So Rosh or Resh in Phoenician, or what they tell you, Hebrew. There is no such thing as Hebrew. I'm gonna tell you what Hebrew is here in a second. The real Hebrew. It's Phoenician. So this is Phoenician. They tell you is Hebrew. So Rosh Hashanah. Rosh is Rosh means head, but it means God man, head man. Okay, and I'm not going to do it in this part one, but probably in part two, I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your God man, head man it's going to blow your mind, but you still going to bring it back, but it's going to blow your mind what I show you. So that's what I'm saying. Remember all this, store it up, because it might seem like I'm going jumping around a little bit, but it's all going to fall in place. I promise. So Rosh Hashanah, they tell you means the new year, right? Well, Rosh means the head man, the God man. Rosh, Resh, Kresh, Krosh, Crush, Christ. It evolved. It's all the same thing. Okay. And it means the God man, the head man, which means the mind. The God man is the mind man. It's all the ment. The mental, all is mind. Where does the mind come from? Where organic minds begin. The womb of the great mother. So, Emmanuel, Amma-nuel. Amma, the mother. Nu, the exclamation, the seen, the unseen, the countable, uncountable, El, inside of time. So Emmanuel in Hebrew, they tell you, is God with us. Well, yeah, God is not only with you, you are. It is you. And there was no Hebrew language, so Yeshua was not named Yeshua. That's Joshua. He already came and went. They thought that was their Messiah. Joshua, who came with a sword and was chopping heads off and all that. Blood, blood, blood. Okay? That was their Yeshua. So when you say you're Yeshua, you're talking to Joshua, the murderer. All right? Who the angel came, actually gave him a sword. Said, go kill. Yeah, what kind of some good? Yeah, that's where I want to go with these angels. Come on, man. So I would recommend not saying Yeshua because you're talking about Joshua. It's easy. See that's an easy. That's ABCs. So is Emmanuel is an Aramaic name, and that's what he spoke. Okay, from the Essene sect that he came from Mary. the Essenes spoke Aramaic. Aramaic was a huge language. Aramaic was as big as Arabic is today. Aram in that area. Aramaic was the Arabic before Arabic was like big as it is now in that area of the world. Aramaic was a big language. Okay, so his name was Emmanuel. Amma's the mother. It means the seed of the mother within time. That's you too, beloved. That's you, seed of the mother. Even says in people, that's not true, Chief. Well, why is it saying in Genesis that the seed of the mother is going to redeem, basically, and fatally bruise the head of the serpent? See, that's when they had already changed the serpent over to the bad guy, but originally the serpent was not. So you got to know your re-chords to know the truth, okay? Because if you don't know, then you get mixed up. You'll think, oh, well, everything that says snake is bad, it's evil. No, actually, in the further you go back into the beginning of this cycle, it represented good and being born again and new life and growing and rebirth and maturation and life cycles. Okay? And natural organic energy. The snake they said it's a curse to be on the ground and dust be in your mouth to hold and all that. No, the snake was revered by our ancestors because it was on the ground. That means it was closest to the earth energy at all moments. It was great. You want to go out here and ground now, don't you, barefooted? We ain't talking about a sheep with 4 feet on the ground. We talking about something got its whole body on the ground for almost its whole existence. That means it's picking up more energy from the earth than pretty much any other living thing on here. Or it's in a tree. And trees are also sentient. Very sentient, wise. So it's either in the tree, just like they tell you in Genesis, or it's on the ground, fully grounded with the earth energy at every moment. Now, yeah, you got some water ones too, but even the water is called Mary, Meru, Mer. That's the mother too. Snake represented our organic energy. So in Phoenician, the rest or the Rosh or the Resh or the Kresh or the Crush or the Christ is the 20th letter. If you're taking notes, you're going to write these down because it probably won't come together to the next teaching, but I got to lay the foundation. The 22nd, so this is what they did with this. Originally, like I told you earlier, was Heru. Heru was the light of the world, right? AKA Horus. Horus turned into the horizon when the sun comes up over the horizon. Then it became hours and time and got hijacked by Saturn, the god of this world. Everything that we do, everything we come up with. That's why the whole story of Christ been hijacked. And now it's idolatry. They worshiping Jesus. I like that little song where, what's that little dance they be doing and all that? Your ways, I don't know. I'll turn it. My melody be off and I turn into a McDonald's commercial. You know what I'm talking about. Better back again. That's a cool song. But there they go talking about Zeus again. It's not about Zeus. It's about the Christ. The one coming greater than me. You all shall do greater things than I. Where is that? Everybody waiting on the end of the world. Where's the greater things? But they believe that Jesus is coming back. But they ain't did nan greater thing. Well, I went to church every day on Sunday, paid my tithe. First of all, you can't even pay tithes because you don't get income. You can only pay tithes with income. Income stopped in 1933. You got fiat currency. That's called wages. You can't pay tithes with wages. Slaves get wages. How can you tithe with wages? You've been getting paid wages since 1933. Backed by nothing. Backed by your own mind, government. They done governed your mental so much that you just take it. Paper. Oh my God, it's $100 bill. $50 an hour? Hours. Horus, the sun coming up over the horizon. Osiris reincarnated, the green sprouting up, all the flowers coming back. Ishtar going down into the 7 levels of the gates of hell, the underworld, and coming back up. It's all the story of what you see here. All of it. It's different people telling you the same story at different moments from different angles or angels. And I'm going to tell you, the source of your eternal soul is not no ruler. Are you a ruler over your children? Are you ruling them? Rulers divide, so that means you have to tell one of them they're chosen. Can only be one. Esau, Ishmael, and Isaac. I mean, one of them can, it's only one that can be the chosen one. So first of all, so if you're a ruler, so if you want to be like Yahweh, Allah, or whoever, you gotta be, you gotta go to one of your children right now, tell them they're the chosen one. The other ones ain't the ones. It's only one chosen one. And they're gonna have 12 children, and that's gonna be the 12 tribes of the chosen tribes. And then you can make up this whole little thing. And the more people you get to follow you get the mass of the God power, the manifestation, to jump on board with it. So now you have an ill use of ions, aka illusion of the masses. Well, as long as I go to work every day, you know, I'm a real man. No, work is good. Work is good. But a job is Job. That's sacrifice. You sacrificing yourself and you sacrificing your soul for the world, and instead of being with your family and doing it with your God power that's been given to you, you have free will. The mark of the beast say you can't buy, sell, or trade. Well, then I guess we ain't buy, selling, or trading. So let's prepare. Guess what? Take a seed, put it in the soil, water it, sun gonna come out, and pretty much, you know, you tend to it a little bit. They talk about it in the book of Genesis. Now, because of you, the ground is cursed. Don't look like the ground is cursed to me. Look like we're allowing people to tear it the heck up. It seems like we allowing the cursed to get away with it because it is. We bind into it. We sit around. What? This is prophetic. How are all these prophecies coming true, Chief? Because you're allowing it. What have you done to stop anything? Well, it's already written. So that's two-dimensional. I thought the flesh became word. The word became flesh. You talking about 2D. But it was written. No, you. It's you. Beloved. Don't matter. All that stuff don't matter. If, like I tell you before, if it's matter, it don't matter. Everything that matters, you can't see with this die vision. It's all a cheap knockoff. All of it. Money is Mooney. Reflection. Currency. That's just controlling liquids. Liquid is connected to the mother. That's why the moon has always been connected to the mother. With the cycles, just like originally the snake. and shedding of the skin. The moon sheds its skin, technically. So does Venus. And we're going to get into that as well. The Venus, this is going to explain so much. A lot of you are archaics veterans that are real deep into the archaics information. This is going to answer questions. This teaching, maybe not part one, because this is more of like laying the foundation. But this series is going to really just make really going to open up it's going to put things, the jigs. As I was writing these notes, I said, I got to add this to my book. I have to. I have to. It was so heavily placed on my heart that I have to make sure all of this is in my book, because otherwise there's no people are not going to find. That's the best way I can say it is. So 22nd letter in the Greek alphabet is chi. It's the last or almost the last letter. Chi. It's the X. Okay. In Hebrew, it's the 8th letter in Hebrew, which is the Tav. Okay, they change it, or excuse me, Phoenician, but we're gonna say Hebrew so people get what I'm talking about. So the X, meaning chi, in Greek is the 8th with the 22nd letter. In Hebrew, it's the 8th. It's the Tav. It's the cross. The lowercase t is the cross. So the cross and the X are the same thing, but see, the X is the mother, X chromosome. The cross is now they're trying to get you. That's double masculine. Now, that's what that is. Okay, that's double masculine laid on top, up, down, left to right, masculine. Cain, Abel, Cainables. And then the rho, so chi rho. The rho is the 17th letter. It looks like a P. All right. So, just remember that. So you got the chi rho, means Christos, or the anointed, which comes from hero, which comes from Heru in ancient time era, aka Kemet. So the oldest Hebrew inscription, alphabetic inscription in Hebrew is called the Mesha stele, aka the Moabite stone. It's the oldest Hebrew text on earth. Guess how old it is? 850 BC. So these people that's telling you the beginning of the world, they're the chosen ones, they giving you the genesis of the whole world and all this stuff. The oldest text they got is 850 BC. And it's the Mesha stele, aka Moabite stone. It ain't even theirs. It was somebody else's record. And let me give you a background of Mesha. Misha, or some people pronounce it Misha. Mesha or Misha was the king of the Moab, the Moabites. Elisha, false prophet, and by Yahweh's laws, a false prophet is supposed to get stabbed to death by his parents. Well, Elisha promised all the Jacobites, or Jews, that they were going to win every battle. They was going to take over every city, and Yahweh said it. Yahweh commanded it. Yahweh saith, the Lord saith, and this and that. Yahweh promised that they was going to win every battle. yada, yada, yada. They go to Moab. They slicing and dicing, killing everybody, man, woman, and child, smashing babies against the rocks and being married, just like it says in the Psalms. Where Davud, aka Voodoo, said, you know, you'll see his smashed babies' heads against the rocks and was married. So they did all that, and they get to Moab. Now they whooping Moab's butt. The king of Moab is Mesha. The story goes, Mesha had his back against the wall, didn't know what to do. He ended up sacrificing his son to their god. Guess who their god was? Shamash. Okay. Shamash is the highest candle on the Jewish menorah. The men of Ra. Menorah. Okay. It's the men of Ra. Like Ra Legion, menorah. It's the men of Ra. Okay. And they just changed these words. Solomon, Amun Ra, Menorah. All right. They just changed the words. Same group of people. It's those that are stuck in time. They worship Saturn. So, Mesha sacrificed his own son to Shamash. Instantly, Shamash starts whooping their tail. Sends the Yahwists or the Jacobites or the Jews running, scared. Run back to Elisha. I thought you said you said what happened? Yahweh said this. Yahweh. They don't even got no explanation in the Bible. They'll just have a fake false preacher man up there tell you they did something wrong. They must have, I don't know. Maybe they was going left, right, and one of them stepped right when they're supposed to step left, so they lost. That's what the preacher man will tell you up at the church. But they lost, and it made Elisha, the one that they say, you know, Elisha and Moses is like the two witnesses coming back, reincarnating, all that nonsense. And when Emmanuel translated, he saw Elisha and Moses, bunch of hogwash. False prophet. He was supposed to get, by Yahweh's law, was supposed to get thrust. The words are thrust through by his parents, stabbed to death, murdered, killed by his own mom and dad. Didn't happen. Yahweh became a false god too, right then and there. Hypocrite, false, lying, father of lies from the beginning. You're a murderer and a liar from the beginning. You're a murderer and a liar now, Christ said. Who was he talking to? The Sanhedrin. Who was the Sanhedrin? The top of the Yahwist and Jacobites. The top of the top. Oh no, he wasn't talking. It's because they was worshiping Satan. No, they was worshiping Yahweh. He even said, if you think you're gonna make it to heaven on works, you gotta go. You gotta be even more on point than the Sanhedrin. So even Emmanuel was admitting these people, they on point. They are on point priesthood. The what they call the Pharisees. He said you gotta do more work than the Pharisees. So they was on point following Yahweh. You think these black Hebrew, I don't use the word but by their own given name, black Hebrew Israelites wearing their little tassels, don't eat a cheeseburger, don't mix cheese with their burger. They think they're doing something. If you're going to follow that way, you better be the highest of the high. You better be in the Sanhedrin, and you still ain't going to go nowhere. You're going to be back. So, and let's nip this Hebrew thing real quick. Hebrew is a Greek word. That means it didn't even exist until the Greeks came around. Alejandros the Great, the Macedonian. So Hebrew is a Greek word derived from Habiru. And that was derived from Apiru. Okay. And that means it's a designation. It's not, it has nothing to do with race, religion, ethnicity, your bloodline, your lineage, where you was born, nothing. It was literally a class in society of people that made a living by hiring themselves out for various services. That is what a Hebrew was and is. So before anybody watching this, and I know I got passionate, I'm a little animated when I teach, when I get going. I'm not mocking you. I'm not trying to clown you. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm not trying to act like I'm better than you. I do get going, at moments. I'm going to slow it down for a second and say this in the most humble way. Hebrew is a class of, it was a title of a class of people, like a caste system in India. It was just a group. It didn't matter where you was from. You could be from anywhere. South Africa. You could be a Nubian, you Ethiopian. You could come from Russia. At that time, Prussia. You could come from over there. You could come from anywhere and be a Hebrew. It was just a class of people who hired themselves out for various tasks. But let them tell it, they're slaves. Everywhere they go, we slaves. No, you hire yourself out. That's why they went to Babylon. They go wherever it's popping. If it was like I was back now, they'd be in Vegas, New York, Hollywood, Miami, where else? London, London, Babylon, Don, the Vatican. They'd be in all these places if they was around now. That's where they're at. They'd be in D.C., District of Columbia, the false queen of heaven. The 15 square miles that they own, the only land that they think they own over here on Turtle Island, 15 square miles. Because we don't sell land. We ain't never sold them no land. The only land that was ever sold to them was for $26, Manhattan Island, because we called it Devil's Island, because it's where all the 6 kings, aka Vikings, the Northmen, were stopping and doing some old crazy mess. So we called it Devil's Island, and we didn't want it anyway. So we wanted to get rid of it. We said, you want some land here? And they gave us $26 worth of gold. And I say we, as in my tribe, the Lenape. The Lenape people is the only ones that sold any land over here. And that was Manhattan Island. Promise you, because we didn't believe in selling land. And we didn't even look at it as land, because it was an island, and it was like a marsh. It was like watery. It wasn't even really land. It was like muck. So it was really just to get them away from us. But we look at land here over on Turtle Island, aka America, as same as air and water. You don't own. How can you own land? How can you own water? That's the same thing as air? They're making the air so poisonous. I wouldn't be surprised if it turns into, well, if the changeover event wasn't coming, it would turn into something like the Lorax, where you're in like a 15-minute city and you actually have to buy air because it's so polluted. They want us, you gotta go up to the grocery store and buy water. Yeah, right. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing in the physical, setting up this community for whoever is meant to be there. For whoever is ordained to be there, you will be there. But I'm setting up this community. It's already done. It's already done. And we ain't paying nothing. We're not going to touch money ever again. Won't never have to worry about it. Nothing. And it's not, the old heads, and I'm not talking about old souls. I'm talking about old heads. Physical. can't conceive that, because unfortunately they've been indoctrinated so heavily the last few hundred years, especially the last 100 to 150. All they know is work hard, and that good intentions. I'm not saying anything's wrong with it, but they got deceived heavily. So now here we are to repair. And that's what it is. That's why you're here right now. That's where we're here right now. Hayes Gaming. I just happen to look. I don't look at comments, but sometimes I happen to see ones. Hayes Gaming says, "So where are we going?" I would never, ever even say it around a device, let alone on the internet. I don't even speak around it. Like when I speak to my children stuff, we put devices and stuff in the house, and we'll take a ride. We won't even, when we speak of these things, we don't, there'll be nothing, no devices and around nobody. And I don't ride in no smart cars with screens and satellites and this and that. All right. I ride in older vehicles. So, yeah, Hebrew is that word comes from Apiru, Apiru, not Ivaru or Ivaru or Ivarut or all these other words that I hear the teachers trying to say it is. It comes from Apiru, which means somebody who has hired themselves out for various services, not slaves. All right. They got put on lockdown in Egypt because of what was getting ready to happen, the changeover event. And the Pharaoh didn't want them running wild and going crazy. He didn't know what was going to happen. So at that point, they was put on lockdown. So when they said they escaped from Egypt, in a way, that's kind of true. But it was because it was an event happening. And they was trying to keep them isolated because the rulers of Egypt at that moment was like trying to be safe. They was trying to survive the event, and they didn't need some people that they, even though they weren't slaves, how you think whipping them and all that crazy mess, that's a lie. They was getting treated good. They was, why you think they tell you, they even revealed the method in the Bible. They said, man, we better off going back here. God got us walking around here lost. Yeah, because it's the demiurge, the separator. You following the wrong way, my friend. Same way you'll be walking around here lost for 80 years following religion. Yahweh, Allah. And the whole time it's you. Yeah, so the oldest Hebrew inscription is the Mesha still the Moabite stone. Well, guess what Mesha means in Vedic astrology? Mesha is Aries. Now, if you know about the Jews, they're the tribe of Aries because they took over at the beginning of the age of Aries. That's when that event happened at Egypt. Egypt was ruling in the age of Taurus. Age of Taurus came to an end. Oh, end of the age, changeover event. Here we go. Here goes Amenhotep IV. Got all this mystery school knowledge. He takes a group of the worker people, the worker ants out with him. Hey, follow me. I'll take you to the promised land. Milk and honey. Come on. So this high priest who literally knows all the mysteries, Egyptian mysteries, Amenhotep IV, hermaphrodite, is he, she. That's what Shemitic means. It's the Shemitic, the she-me bloodline is the hermaphrodite bloodline. That's why if you go into the Kabbalah, which is their highest form of Ra-Legion, it tell you that they believe man and woman originally had both parts. Okay? They don't understand it wasn't physical. You was a light being. When the two become one, the clothes hit the ground, as it says in the Gospel of Thomas, what Christ said. You ain't getting to the kingdom of heaven until the clothes hit the ground and there ain't no shame. He ain't talking about you walking around here butt naked. He talking about when the animal skins that they put on, that Yahweh or Enlil put on us in Genesis 3, the coats of animal skin, this right here, when this falls off and you got your light body, when the two become one, when you got balance, sacred feminine, that is when you shall be remembered, repaired with who? Your higher self. Who is your higher self? The real you. The one that knew when you was when you was coming in here and when you was leaving. Just like my wife knew. She knew. The month leading up to her exiting, she knew. Her soul knew. It was so many things that she was telling me. That was her soul. No fear. It had nothing to do with fear, being scared. Like, oh, I feel weird. But no, it was just unveilation. That's all. Unveilation. Her soul, that was her soul knowing that, hey, the moment that we agreed upon, that I agreed upon before I came down here, is approaching. So your soul already knows, or aka your higher self already knows. The point is, can you go through this and go from ignorant back to wholeness? Because if you can't, then you can't be the all. You can't be whole. Because you got to know what it feels like not to be whole. You got to know what it feels like not to know all. You got to know what ignorance feels like. You got to know what pain feels like. You got to know what it feels like to think that you're on an island by yourself and nobody understands you. You got to know what it feels like to think that you are just completely alone, ain't got nobody behind you. Not even knowing you got everyone behind you. You got the all behind you. You got the whole you and I verse behind in you. You got source in you. You are. Who's going to stop us? Who's going to stop you and I? Not you. We ain't in the you verse I. We ain't in the I verse you. We in the you and I verse. The universe. Yoniverse. Verse is a vibration. You and I vibrate. Are we going to make music? Sing that new song on top of Mount Zion? What's that? Zion, Zoion is the original word for zodiac. That means above Shemaiah was Shemaiah. The Phoenician word for heaven. Means her illusion. Who? The Great Mother's illusion. You think that's heaven. That's the re-chords, the record, the cycle in time. And the dummy god, aka demigod, the demiurge, said, I'm the only God. Ain't no other God but me. Didn't even look up. Didn't even look up. So ignorant. I'm the only God. Thou shalt not have. But then you're going to say, thou shalt not have no other gods but me. If you the only God, then how we going to have any other gods besides you, dummy? You so dumb. You ain't even making sense with your own words, dummy God. I'm the only God, and I'm a jealous God. Jealousy is a whole opposite frequency of love. You know what the jealousy is? A severe insecurity. Why would the source of your soul have a severe insecurity? Because it got a secret. It's got a secret. It's not the real God. It's not even a God. You and I are gods. God is not, the word God is not the great mother, the womb of creation. That's above gods and goddesses. Gods and goddesses are her children. We have the power of manifestation of creation. We can create as she does. And the reason women, the woman, are very special is because they can bring in something that men can't. Men can only create mind, which is very powerful because all is mind. Because even the woman to have womb manifestation has to do with her mind first. Even with virgin birth, aka parthenogenesis, which still happens to this day. They just don't tell you. And most of the time, women don't even know it. You'll have a child looks exactly like you, don't even look like the man that you lay with. You don't even know you had parthenogenesis, that you actually had not a virgin birth, but it had nothing to do with sperm. You actually had parthenogenesis, but because you was engaging in sexual activity at the same moment, you think you conceived. And the ones that really are virgins that get pregnant, they're not going to tell you. They would never put it. You think they're going to put it on the news? Come on now. Still happens to this day. So basically, the story of Mesha and Shamash and all that, it's still, that's not even, that's up, they're talking about lights above. They said Mesha is the king of the Moabites. Well, Mesha is Aries. Okay, so the tribe of Aries. Here we got a group of people saying, our king is Aries. Our king is, the Aries is Mars. Okay, same thing. The ram. That's why they blowing the ram's horns and all. So here we have two factions of people going against each other to see who's going to rule the age of Aries. That's all it's about. Why you think they was going around killing, murder everything in 60 cities? Men, women, and child. Because they wanted to be the rulers of the age of Aries. What you think finna happen right now? The cusp is almost over. The Piscean energy is almost all the way gone. Trump, Russia, the China man, the little Korean dude, alien scum, all of them is just running around here like chickens with their heads cut off, because the age of Aquarius is different. It's at the end of the cycle. I showed that with the alphabet teaching. It's not like the other changeover events. It's the clock striking 1 a.m. Okay, not midnight. Midnight is 00 hour. Okay, military time. Midnight is 0, 100. All right, it got to go back to 1. That's why it's 12,900 and some years for the real deal. There's a changeover event at the end of each aeon, or age. Okay, but when at the U-turn, the Saturn, age of Aquarius, and then back when you go back up, you got to pass the age of Libra. You got to get past the age of Libra. That's the other to get past the gates. Okay, but let's get back on track. So Mesha is just Aries. So when he said he sacrificed his son, well, Aries' son is Eros. Okay, Eros, and then the Romans romanized, it's called a Cupid. But Mars, or Aries' son, is Eros, and it really, Eros just embodied, it's all light signatures, y'all. Everything. Mars, all of Aries, this, that, it's light, it's suns. They're light signatures. It's energy. So when they tell you Mars or Aries had a sun, they're not talking about a physical dude. They're talking about S-U-N, another light. So this other light, Eros, E-R-O-S, embodied love, specifically love of marriage. So what did Mesha, king of the Moabites, sacrifice? He sacrificed love and marriage. Basically went against love and marriage and engaged in war. And that's how they won. It's all allegory. He didn't kill his son to Shamash and all that. Shamash was the sun god, so they're telling you where the sun was at. The sun was in Aries at that moment. And then Mesha, Aries, sacrificed love and marriage, his son, okay, for war, for victory in war, basically to shed blood, to made the free will to take that. So the people, the Moabites, took the energy instead of love and marriage and all that. They gave the free will decision to embrace the opposite energy, like Venus. Venus can be love or lust. It's up to you, not Horus's scope. It's not up to the Horus's scope. It's up to you. You got the free will. Venus can be love or lust energy. It's got a signature. It's a real energy signature, but it's up to you. Do you want it to be lust or you want it to be love? You got the decision. That's standing on top of Mount Zion. That's staying on top of the zodiac, Zoion, singing a new song. That's the verse, the UNI verse. Singing a new song, 144,000. That's our full light code restored. Another teaching. So, oldest Hebrew inscription found in 850 BC, founded by Sir William Flinders Petrie at a place called Serpent al-Qadim. And Serpent al-Qadim in Arabic, it means columns of the slave. It's actually in Southwest Asia. So that's where it was found. And the language that the Mesha still was found in was not Hebrew, because remember, Hebrew didn't exist. So it was actually known as Proto-Sinaitic, like Mount Sinai, Proto-Sinaitic language, okay? So where they found it was actually at so Proto-Sinaitic goes back to the temple of Hathor. Hathor in Egypt goes back to about 2700 BC. Now, Hathor, if you look it up, it's going to show you a woman with the things and the thing in between her, the red sun and all that. And later on, it's Isis, but Hathor is older. Hathor in Egyptian was spelled H-W-T-H-R. Okay, it didn't say Hathor. It was H-W-T-H-R, and it means house of Horus, which means horizon, hours, or time. It literally, so the house or Hathor, the temple of Hathor means house of Horus, which literally means the temple of time. So now we see how we starting to come around the corner to Saturn a little bit. We're making our way there. Okay. So these this pro-Sinaitic, these languages were called pre-Talmudic. For anyone taking notes, they were called not Talmudic, pre-Talmudic language. And then it was called Old Talmudic, aka Old Negev, N-E-G-E-V. Now, I'm giving you some of the most ancient languages right now, okay, that you ain't never heard. I don't know how many people on here have heard of Old Negev. I'd be surprised if it's one. So Old Negev is the parent of all Arabic scripts. It's where Arabic language comes from, Old Negev. All right. So 21 of 22 of the original Phoenician letters, and even more so the Old Negev in the Proto-Canaanite, aka Sinaitic, and the borrowing of almost all letter forms in the later Egyptian hieroglyphics, excuse me, let me rephrase that so you can understand it. Old Negev and Phoenician, Old Negev has 21 of 22 of the Phoenician characters. So Old Negev and Phoenician were like pretty much the same as the Proto-Canaanite. Proto-Canaanite means, basically what I'm telling you is these were not letters. They were glyphs. They were pictures. Okay, it's known as acrophony, or the word is spelled acrophony, like Phony, but you pronounce it acrophony. All right, and this is in all the Egyptian hieroglyphics, everything. So these languages are all connected because they all come from, guess what? Pictures. Why? Because previously we communicated through visions, telepathically, through pictures. That's why the Greek call logos the word of God, because we're the gods and goddesses, and our words were not spoken words, they were pictures. So that's why the Greek word logos. See, the Greeks were the scribes. You can't count out the Greeks as some stupid people. They were learners. The Greeks were master students. Okay? They just didn't tap in. The reason they were master students because they didn't tap into the feminine energy. A little bit, here and there, a little bit more than the Romans. Romans just wiped it out. But it began in Sumer. The Sumerians did it. It began in Sumer from who we know as the Atlanteans, because they did it in Atlantis. They did it to us, with the continent of Lemuria. Did everyone live on Lemuria? No. There was other places to live, but our main continent was Lemuria. Okay, Maria, mother. Okay, the loom of the mother. You know what a loom is? All right, just like in Turtle Island, we have spider grandmothers, the web. That's a loom. Web is the same thing as a loom. So Lemuria is same thing as spider grandmother over here on Turtle Island mythology. Okay, so the hijack started in Mesopotamia and really got bad in Babylon. That's why they still on that Babylonian stuff. All right, because Babylon is where they solidified the hijack. Now, so acrophony is the use of a picture symbol of an object to represent phonetically the initial sound of the name of the object. The initial sound. Okay? Not even the whole word, just the initial sound. So that means even when we began speaking, we was just like ski. Yerp. What do we do now naturally? I don't know about everybody, but when I was playing ball and stuff, when I'm running on fast break, What are natives over here on Turtle Island from? What are they known for? You know, making sounds like hee. Even on the continent of Africa. What are babies known for? Cooing and kind. That's the organic vibration spoken because we didn't speak. We gave visions to each other. Same way you can lay down for 15 minutes and have a dream that seemed like you just went on a whole journey somewhere. Man, y'all, I just had a dream that I was in the car. I was riding somewhere. I don't know. Somebody stopped. I got out. I went in here, and then y'all was there. We went to some party. This and you had that long behind dream. You was only asleep for 10 minutes. That's how so everything that I'm speaking to you right now in this teaching, previously, all I had to do was send it to you in a vision. This would have been done instantly. Bam, gave it to you. Vision. You knew everything in this teaching as soon as I sent it to you through the light. Vibration. Same thing with animals. Same thing with trees and plants. Why you think in the Bible it said, now you've cursed the soil? You ain't cursed the soil. Now you lost your ability to communicate. That's what happened. The soul not cursed. You just lose an ability. Now you got to wear animal skin and this and that. Give me 1 second, y'all. My baby's calling. Yes, babe. You want pie? Huh? What are you doing? You teaching? tell them you know your ABCs?
No, I'm not going to tell.
Tell them your ABCs. You gotta teach them. Teach them. They gotta know the ABCs. You gotta teach them. Come on, teach them. Look, they asking for you. They asking for you to teach the ABCs. Come on. You ready?
You're not going to.
Oh, don't touch nothing. Don't hit nothing. Yeah. You want to teach them real quick?
Why?
You ready?
I'm trying.
You gonna teach them? A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S W X Y and Z. See, you ain't even sing with me. Next time, won't you sing with me?
Okay, you're saying it together.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Then let's do it.
You started it.
I started.
Well. Go ahead, say it. All right, you ain't gonna do it. Let me get back. Let me finish up.
E B C D E F G
H I
K
L M N O Q R S T U. You ain't singing. Come on.
Okay.
Come on, bro. I got to finish up.
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O Q R S T U W X Y and Z.
Yeah. Good one. All right. Good job. Good work. All right. That's extra, y'all. That's extra. I'm gonna put her Cash App and PayPal information. No, I'm just playing. Okay. Okay, so we've been getting through a lot of kind of boring stuff here. I get it. A lot of you probably want to, what's the name? I thought this says the Saturnic order. I ain't heard nothing about Saturn. Like I said, gotta lay this foundation now. So, the language, the old Negev, right? Or Negeb, right? Negev and Negeb. They used to interchange the V's and the B's. We're going to get into that too. Because Eve, Abraham was Avraham. Eve was not EVE, it was ABA. So Eve at one point was Abba. Who they tell you Abba is? The Father. At one point in old Negev, it wasn't EVE. The V's was B's. And every vowel was interchangeable. The vowels were the planets, like I told you, like was unveiled to I. The vowels were the planets. They move, they're wandering. The vowels of the vowel or the vowel to L. So the 7 vowel L's are those that made a vow to L. Saturn, the U, the fake U. Okay, the Saturn, the U turn. All right, it's the A to the U making gold. They came here to mine gold. It's your aura. AU is gold. A to the U. A is Cancer, or the mother that they turned into the Aleph, the bull, the upside down A. But it was the regular A. It was the scarab pushing the pile of crap. that comes out of the desert. They didn't know where the scarab came from. How is it coming out of a 125-degree desert out of nowhere with a pile of dung making something out of nothing? That's why the scarab beetle was so revered. It was a creator, made something out of nothing and came out of nowhere. That's why I was revered. So the A was the scarab. Today it's the crab, Cancer. So the A is Cancer, aka where the pole star. Remember I told you the pole star where the white light comes through Cancer, the mother sign. Every pole star comes through Cancer. I don't care what, you can Google whatever you want. I'm telling you the truth about what's going on. The pole stars come through Cancer. What governs Cancer? The moon. It doesn't share the moon with anybody. Leo and Cancer are the only two signs in the Mount Zion, aka the zodiac, that don't share with anything. Leo is the sun. Leo, Lo. So we have Lo and we have L. Saturn and the sun. The black sun and the yellow sun. But guess what? Saturn is yellow. When you look at Saturn with a real nothing with software, it's yellow light. Saturn, yellow light. See? It's mimicking. It's a mimicker. It's not the real deal. So you have the black sun, not the black seed of the mother that's in the middle of the earth now. That's Mount Meru, triple black seed of the mother. We ain't talking about that. All right? We talking about what the elites worship as the black sun. Okay? Everybody thinks, I gotta be careful with this word, Hitler was, inner earth with the black sun and inner earth. No. It's all Saturn. It's all Saturn. He just found out that Saturn has been our local star before. It's a binary system. But the light comes into the pole at the top of the dome. And it comes through Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, the reflection off the plasma of us. All right. And the sun, the sun that we see is just the intersection of the vibration of the triple black seed of the mother, the core, that sends out the black light that can be any color, any spectrum, any wave. It intersects with the pole star light. The pole star, the lens has a 47 degree leeway, 47 degree radius. But when it comes down, it only touches 33 degrees at one moment. And that's why the 33-degree longitude is their safe zone. That's a whole nother story during the changeover event. The 33-degree north latitude, is their safe zone in the northern hemisphere. That's another teaching as well. So check this out. Old Negev or Negeb, guess what it means? Negeb or Negeb, the name means of this language, means rolling or waving, right? It comes from the verb to be concave or convex. What does that mean? This language literally means rolling or waving, and it originates from the verb to be concave or convex. Well, guess what concave or convex is? It's a lens. It's a lens. Okay? So, you know what? Instead of sharing, because I ain't got my bliss. I don't have my editor here, my producer, and all that good stuff here with me this evening. So I'm gonna have to do it bootleg like I used to. Let me show you concave and convex real quick. Okay. Concave is like a bowl, an inward bowl, a U. Concave is like your eyeball. That's concave. Okay. It's your eyeball. All right. And concave lenses have the ability to form both real and virtual. Concave lenses have the ability to form real images and virtual images, meaning you can see the real and the fake with concave lenses. Now, convex, which is I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me make sure I got that right. Concave lens. I don't want to make no mistakes here. Oh, okay. Nope, I got that backwards. Concave is inwards. It's like an hourglass. That gives you the ability to see real and virtual. Okay. Concave. So this is concave lens. Uh-oh. Let me turn this light down, maybe. Hold on. Oh man. All right. It's sideways, but dang it. There it is. You see it? That's concave lens. That lens right there has the ability to see virtual and real objects. So what does that look like? So convex is the other one. It's a dome. All right. So what is that? Right there. That's the difference. Well, actually, that's the same. That's called cat eye syndrome, that little girl at the bottom. But you see the concave eyes? Why do you think they say cats can see ghosts and things like that? Because their lens, their eyes, can see real and virtual, can see both. So people say they can see on the other side of the veil. It's based on their lens. Okay. This division that we have, we seeing nothing but virtual. You're not seeing nothing real. That's why they tell you're only seeing 0.003% of the light spectrum. That means you're not even seeing 99% of real. You're seeing almost all illusion. Everything. And that's exactly right. Snake eye. So check this out. But here's the kicker. Some cats don't have that eye. Some cats have human eyes. Not all cats have that concave eye. See that? And not all snakes have it neither. See? So it's only certain. It's on an individual basis, even in the animal kingdom, the animal realm. Okay, so it's about lenses. Here is the goat that they revere so much. Sideways concave. See that? Why do you think they revere the goat so much? They got it going sideways, concave. You can see the real and the virtual. Now, and here's how it works. If you know what, I post pictures or something because it's not showing up real well. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see that. But basically, when you can see the real and the virtual, anything that's real is inverted. Anything that's real, because it's coming off just like the moon is a reflection of the entire bigger earth and everything, but it's introverted. It's inverted. It's an X-ray. It's on the X-ray wave, the mother wave, the X chromosome, the X-ray. So the moon is a reflection, but everything is inverted. Okay, so anything real is inverted. That's what they do with words. Okay, the ancestors knew this. Why do you think this language that predates all the language, all these languages, or was connected to them? Old Negev or Negeb meant rolling or waving, coming from the verb to be concave or convex, meaning a lens. Okay. Concave is an inward bowl, convex is a dome, magnifying. Concave can form both real and virtual, but the real images are inverted and the virtual images are smaller. So that means the fake images are smaller. So if they want the virtual images to be bigger, that means they got to be huge from wherever they projecting it from. Okay. Gray aliens, this and that, little people, this and that. It got to be huge. That means it got to be like, coming like shadows. Like, you know how you can stand there and your shadow looks 30 feet big. It's like that. So, okay. Now, going back to the Eve, I mentioned this a little early. The transliteration of Eve is Kava. If you look it up in the Bible, Eve's name was Kava. CHAVVAH. But the V was a B. So it was Kaba. Guess what that means? In the ancient hieroglyphic language, the Ka and the Ba, the soul and the spirit. So Eve was the holder of the soul and the spirit. Okay? The original name of Eve was Kaba. And they turned it into Saturn stuff with that whole Kaaba cube over in Mecca. They have flipped. Remember, anything that's real is inverted. So Kaaba is Eve's real name, but it was spelled Chava, but it's really Kaaba or Kaaba. That was her real name in the original. So, and you can look this up yourself. It's the number is 2332 in the lexicon. If you want to verify that. So, Kaaba or Kava means life giver, mother of all living. It means life itself. And it means it also was changed to, you know how they tell you when Yahweh was in the desert, he said, I am that I am. Well, the Hebrew phrase is Haya Asher Haya, right? Hayah, Asher, Hayah. Haya Asher Haya. I am that I am. But that's not what it says. It says, I will be. I will be. I will come to pass. That's what that means. So it comes from Eve's, a derivative that came off Eve's original name, that is Chayah, Chayh, and it means to be, to live, to give life. Why they ain't say that? Why Yahweh didn't say that? Why Yahweh didn't say Chayah, Asher, Chayah, or Kaya, Asher, Kaya? No, he said Haya, Asher, Haya. I will be. I'm gonna be like the great mother. I'm gonna give life. I'm gonna make life before I'm done here. I'm gonna make something here that resembles life, like the source that I done cut myself from, and I got a whole group of L eats making sure that L is eating, that's stuck in time, and they're gonna help me do it. I will be. I will come to pass. Haya Asher Haya. So it really all comes from Eve, the whole thing. And this is in the Strong's Concordance, the NAS Exhaustive Concordance, and the Topical Lexicon. All verify this information that I just gave you. So in Genesis, aka the genes of Isis, Genesis 222, which is the ancient builder number, which is also the feminine, the mother. It's a great mother number, 222. Okay. Genesis 222. It literally means master builder, master mason. Well, mason used to mean my son. So master builder / master mason, the two beginning words is mama. So that was the code, mama. Okay. So a master mason and master builder was a mama. They were women or seeds of the mother. Emmanuel, a son of the mother, or they were mothers, were the original master masons, because they're builders of the temples that cannot be built with hands. See? Who is the master builder? Someone who can build a building, or someone that can build a temple inside of them that has a soul, a living temple, and bring it into existence to a portal that still can't be comprehended. Never ever within time has it been. The thing that calls itself God here, Saturn, can't even comprehend it still. I will be. One day I'm gonna figure this out. Haya Asher Haya. I'm gonna figure this out. Even if it takes me 13.8 billion years. They tell you that's how long the universe exists. No, that's how long they've been keeping track. If you put it on the masculine linear time, they've been stuck in the time cycle 13.8 billion years. If you put it on a line, but really it's not. It's just like this. But they've been keeping track 13.8 billion years. They've been stuck in time. Fact. 138-year Phoenix cycle. Why is it 138-year Phoenix cycle? 13.8 billion years. It's a fraction of it. Somebody, I would like to see somebody maybe in the comments do the mathematics on that. What fraction, what percentage is that? Is 138 years to 13.8 billion years? That's good. That's homework right there. So let's see. So Genesis, genes of Isis, 222. They talk about the rib, right? 222 is the number that embodies the. I'm almost done with that. Is the number that embodies the ability to turn dreams into reality, meaning to act. It's the number that represents accessing the feminine energy to turn dreams, imagination, the magi nation, the wise nation, into reality. That was the only reason for spoken words. Spoken words in the higher realm, spoken vibrations instantly manifest. That's why you have to go through this purge, this soul's tour of the purge, aka purgatory, aka purging your Taurus. Because when you get to the higher realms, as soon as you speak, it exists. Why do you think they said Christ will return with a great sword in his mouth? Because by the time our light code starts repairing to the 144,000, you will be able to speak it into existence. There will be no war. There will be no fight. It's stopped. I speak this. That's why you see things with, chimeras, a bird head on a man's body or this or that. That was people that still was hanging on to this God power ability, but they was perverted. They couldn't control their minds no more. They thinking of things that are just abominations. Like what? What use does this have? So the thing about manifestation is there's two things. It cannot stop someone's free will. It cannot stop someone's free will. And it should not create evil. Not that it cannot, it should not. So you, once you get to that level, your higher self will already know this. So therefore, you will not create anything that I can't say doesn't have the ability to do evil, but won't. The odds are against it, pretty much. Because look at reality right now with the Great Mother. There's people that have cut the umbilical cord and are no longer attached. There's people that are attached that are doing wrong and doing evil, but they haven't what's called blasphemed the whole, not the OHOLY, the WHOLEY, the holy, the balance and wholeness spirit, the womb of all. They haven't blasphemed, meaning like disconnected from that yet. They might be doing wrong, but they still have a chance. Even if it's not in this lifetime, they might have to come back for a whole nother round. So 222 also symbolizes balance and harmony, soul and spiritual alignment. Now in Genesis 3:20, that's when Adam, all Adam did was name everything. The problem with Adam in the biblical narrative is he knew what everything was. That's why they brought everything to him. What's he gonna call this? What's he gonna call that? Even the entity that is known as a demiurge or YALDABAOTH, Saturn, the energy, wanted to see what this God power, this man that had a fraction of a piece of the true source, not cut off. Even though it's wrapped up in this abomination, this stuff, this illusion, it's still not cut off from source, got a piece of source, so they want to see what you're going to name. So Adam sits back and names everything. But guess what Adam didn't name? Himself. He didn't know who he was. That's where we're at now, to get you to remember who and what you truly are. But he knew that Eve was the mother of all living before they even had Cain and Abel. He didn't know that she could make anything. Why did he call her the mother of all living? Because she came first. That's revelation of the method. See, they're telling you one thing, but they're telling you the truth in a different way. They're lying on one part and saying Adam, they took a rib. Rib is a ribosome, as I've told you many times. Woman has the X chromosome. That's 4 ribosomes. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you put her to sleep and take one, what are you going to have left? You're going to have a Y. You're going to have a Y. 1, 2, 3. That's the man's chromosome. You took a ribosome from the X, and now you got a Y. The Trinity. Father, Son, the Holy Ghost. 3 dudes. Sorry. All right. So this goes back to Sumer. It says that in Genesis 3:20, it says they put a flaming sword east of the Garden of Eden, right? East. Well, the word east is not east as a direction. The word is Quedem. And Quedem literally means before time. So that means they literally did something with time. This shows that these beings, Anunnaki, have been around so long, 13.8 billion years, stuck in time. They have the ability to make timelines and even time travel. I've told you this before. When they go back, they get bigger. They show up big. They're all big and everybody's little. And this and that. When they go forward, they get small, little gray aliens with black eyes and this and that. Okay? All we're talking about is the elites, the Elyon scums, the people like that, the Richard Branson, the Jeff Bezos. That's who we're talking about. These are the Anunnaki incarnate in the flesh, and they're in a cycle. They have the ability to do timelines and all that. So that's when you hear these people talking about timeline shit, that's real. That's a real thing. And we come into a point in 2040 to 2046 where you're either going to go back into the matrix when the cube comes down out of heaven adorned like a bride for the husband, a Merkaba, an external egg, a square external egg that's made by the 7 Elohim, the 7 Archons, headed by Saturn, a cube that's being produced right now at the South Pole, or what they tell you is the South Pole of Saturn. It's just in Saturn. It's just in the bowl. It's in the bowl. It's in the bowl. All right. They telling you South Pole because remember, everything that's reality is inverted. Okay. So really it's in the middle, which we know is the North Pole, just like our bowl. The North Pole of our bowl is right in the middle of the bowl. So reality is inverted. They're telling you South Pole of Saturn, which is a crater on bigger Earth, but it's actually at the North Pole. That's the cube. And they're going to transfer it here interdimensionally after this age, and then that's the Eden all over again. It's a Merkaba. We have the ability to make our own personal Merkabas, but it comes from internal. That's the difference. Merkabas aren't bad. It's energy. It's just energy. It's counter-rotating energy, but ours is made from the phi. That means internal, the feminine energy. Theirs is made externally, 369, 1/3 energy. 1/3 of the fallen angels. That's 1/3 of the fallen angles of light. They're using particles, 1/3 of the hologram at a time. 1/3, 1 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9. 369. Tesla told you. He also admitted he was working with entities in other dimensions. So they're using part, that's called holography, the holy science, the holy books. Holography, the science of light, the light bearers, the Luciferians. Satan comes as an angel of light, the burning bush, this, that, the other. Oh, but the triple black sea is the mother of the darkness. That's bad. That's evil. The snake is evil. All the serpents are evil. The moon is evil. The wolves is howling at it. That's evil. You know, blah, 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 blah. They've totally inverted the truth. So now, returning to Saturn and Jupiter, and then we're going to close it out. I know what some of y'all thinking. Dang, Chief, you really didn't even talk about Saturn. I told y'all I had laid a foundation because the rest of it is going to be almost all about Saturn. So I had to lay and show you. You'll see how it builds up. And it's not just about Saturn. It's got a lot to do with Venus and Pluto. So you're going to learn the truth about a lot. And this teaching is going to go down, in my humble opinion, as one of the best teachings that's ever come through. I wish I could just give it to you, how we used to. So this doesn't have to be a long drawn out series, but it's where we're at. So gotta put in work. So the two most important external signatures for the destiny of the world, according to most sages and adepts, priests and priestesses, and without a doubt for the Abrahamic Ra-Legions, particularly the Jews, is the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in Pisces. Okay? That right there is the most crucial thing for them. That is the most important thing that they, by far, they'll never win. Who has told you this? I'm not an astrologer, astronomer, none of that. I'm a teacher. Okay, I'm a messenger. I'm a teacher. All right. I'm not an astronomer, astrologer, none of that. I'm in alignment with the greatest of spirit. And I teach. I guide. I assist. That's it. Okay. What astrologer has told you this? What astronomer? I'm not saying that in a cocky way. I just want to know. The Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in Pisces in 2365 Anno Mundi took place 3 years before the birth of the person known as, what we know as Moses. Amenhotep IV. The ancient priests, rabbis, and shamans would expect the coming of a Messiah when there is a conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter in Pisces every single time. Okay. So when is the last time this happened? Well, the last great conjunction was in 12/21/2020. 12/21 was supposed to be the end of the Mayan long count, but in 2012. So right there, we now have the answer to the time discrepancy. It's 8 years. We are 8 years separated from the Mayan count and where we're at, based on the Julian, the change of the Julian, the Gregorian calendars and all that, and the way they've been messing with everything. Okay. We're 8 years ahead. This is also how they're doing the Simpson stuff, from the causal plane to the effect plane. I have a whole teaching about that if you don't know what I'm speaking of. I have a whole teaching showing you how that works. We are 8 years ahead of where we truly are. Okay? So, the last great conjunction was in 12/21/20. Well, guess what was happening during that time? You know that, but it wasn't in Pisces. So we're not looking for a messianic figure. It was in Capricorn, the goat of Mendes, Baphomet. So guess what happened 6 days? Guess what happened 6 days before this great conjunction? First one. 6 days before the conjunction. But 6 days at 12/21/20 was the height of the conjunction. So that means 6 days prior, it was already within 8 degrees. So technically, when the very first was injected was when the great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter was in the goat, Capricorn, climbing the mountain. Why are they climbing the mountain? Because they know they're stuck in time. They can't split off like us and go through the age of Aquarius and leave here, graduate, the water bearer, back to the womb, where organic minds begin and where organic minds return. Okay? There, where Uranus comes back as the pole star. And Uranus is the only signature that is horizontal. It's the only one that has an energy signature going side to side. What's that mean? It's balanced. The Greek word for heaven is Uranus. Uranus is the Greek word for heaven. When Uranus comes back into Cancer, I got the times and all that. I'm going to go over that in part 2. I got the exact years and everything. This is all actually in the book of Revelation. You just got to decode it. You've never had anyone decode it. You got people telling you nonsense. This right here is the truth, my friend. This is the truth. So Uranus will come back as the pole star. And it's the only signature that's horizontal. That means it's balanced. And that is the marriage of the sacred masculine energy and Gaia, sacred feminine. Right? That will begin the what you want to call golden age or whatever, but it's no sun. There is no sun, there's no night for about 1,200 years. So the parasitic entities, even though they're stuck in time, in Earth, in certain dimensions, is in time. So you can make the free will decision if you want to come back and experience what it feels like to be here harmonically. That's up to you. You don't have to. New heaven, new earth. That means there's new positions and in dimensions and everything. You don't have to come here again, but you can. You can come here and incarnate one more time, but you don't. It's not going to be the same. There's nothing to pursue. There's nothing to purge. You already did it. As there's some here right now that already did it, that just raised their hand and said, I go help, and came back. Okay. You can do that and come back, and it's not even helping. It's just, all right, I'll go back for 1,000 years and see what it's like to be in perfect harmony in the earth. I'll go back to see what it feels like to be cool with every animal, to not even really have to eat like that. No work. The work is just going picking an apple off the tree. That's your work. to be around everyone that has the frequency of authentic love, not romantic sexual love, just real love, family love. Not some old, like, I'm not saying romantic love is weird, but it's sexuality is involved in it where we're at in this moment, and that's okay, in this moment. But when I'm speaking of the time of no sun, it's not like that. The parasites can't exist above ground; they gotta go down. Elon Musk just built a bunker he spent $275 million and counting on a bunker, and he won't reveal how, like, what he's made, how, like, nothing about it. And because I know that it's Marduk, I know that he knows not to put metal in it because it'll attract the plasma and fry him up like a microwave. But he's also going to try to escape out of here. That's a whole nother teaching too. Bliss. So the last time the Great Conjunction happened was 12/21/20, when the same day the Mayan long count is supposed to end. And because of if you do it right, you can calculate it and see that we're 8 years ahead. I've already done it. So in Capricorn, Jupiter overtakes Saturn's orbit. Remember, it's not that we ain't talking about going around the sun, all that NASA crap. We just talking about the light, getting in front of it. So that's when the first was given. You know why? Because their world is ending and they got to come up with something new. Adam and Eve 5.0. Adam and Eve 5.0. Transhumanism. To go on the other timeline. To stay here in time. Go on the ground bodies and switching bodies and things you can't even imagine. So Saturn is the star of Israel, and Jupiter means the king of justice. Jesus, the name Jesus actually comes from Jesus Justice, was Paul's right-hand man. If you know the real text that they kept out of the Bible, Paul's right-hand man was Jesus Justice. Okay, so Jupiter, Zeus, was known as the king of justice. Saturn is the star of Israel. So the territories ruled by the fishes, aka the house of Jupiter, are Mesopotamia, the Red Sea, Palestine, which is actually Canaan, and Bactria, which is Central Asia, which is Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, and basically the area around the Hindu Kush Mountains. That's where what they call is the territories of the fishes, ruled by the house of Jupiter. Okay. So Saturn is called Chi-un or Chi-un, right? And this is mentioned in Amos 5:26. It says the star of your God. Well, it says Chi-un, right? Chi-un, un-chi. So un-chi, if chi is the Chiro, the Christ, then Saturn would be what? Un-chi or chi-un, chi-un. That's the same word as Antichrist. Un-chi. It's to take your chi. The father that eats his own children. Chronos. Chi-un, chi-un, un-chi. Chi is your life force energy. Okay? The energy around you is prana. That's what you pull out of the ether, the aether. But the energy you produce is chi. Okay? Chi-un or chi-un is the Saturn name, and it's used in Amos 5:26, the only verse. The Sabians called Saturn the god of the Jews. James of Sarug, that's the Syrian church, said Saturn's Sabbath day is Saturn's day. We all know that. Saturn day is Sabbath day. Okay. A man named Albumsar is known as the greatest Islamic astrologer ever. To this day, Albumsar is known as the greatest Islamic astrologer ever, 700 AD. Testified that Saturn is 100% the star, energy, and God of Israel. From this time, 700 AD, through medieval times, Saturn was said to be the abode of the devil god. So Saturn, YALDABAOTH, and the Demiurge all were represented by lion faces. Okay, remember that. Remember that. Saturn, YALDABAOTH, and the Demiurge all had lion faces. All of them. Saturn too. The Babylonians called Saturn Kaya Manu. Listen to this. The Babylonian word for Saturn is Kaya Manu. Well, guess what? If you move that around, guess what it says? Manuyaki. So the Babylonian word for Saturn is Kaya Manu. If you move that around, it's Manuyaki, like Anunnaki. Manu Yaki. Anu. It's the only difference is an M and an N. Manu Yaki, Anunnaki. So the Babylonian, so Sumer was Anu Na. Then the Akkadians changed it to Anunnaki, and then the Babylonians changed it to Kayamanu. See, this is like Solomon and Monosol and Davud and Voodoo. That's what they do. Remember, anything real, it's flipped. So the Babylonian word for Saturn is Kayamanu, Manuyaki. So here we starting to get to the Saturn Anunnaki thing. See, no one's ever connected this. No one has ever connected this. And no one can really figure out what Nibiru is. You get all these people, oh, it's a planet, it's a dimension, it's this and that. No, it's Saturnians. Nibiru is Nebharu, which just means right here. When they come here mining for gold, for their atmosphere, they're talking about their own atmosphere. You have your own atmosphere. You're your own universe. So when they come here mining for gold, it's to keep them immortal. Not eternal, immortal. Stuck in time, infinite, not eternity. They're stuck in infinity, in an infinity loop. Type eternity into emojis and see what comes up. Nothing. Type infinity and see what comes up. The metaverse symbol. Immortal. That means they need external energy to remain alive forever. In those days, they shall seek death and shall not find it. They're getting tired of being alive, y'all. They're stuck. This is their hell. Not ours. This is our university. UNI-verse city. University. Hands-on experience. Peer. Great mother. Peer. You're my peer. I'm your peer. And we're peering. We're looking. A peer is on the dock of the waters of the mother. And the aeons aeons is touching, feeling. So the experience. That's why we're here. This is their hell. And they try to turn into heaven. Their heaven. Hollywood and all that. Now it's transhumanism is the next. So, Kayamanu or Manuyaki, meaning the steady one. It is the last wandering star or sun visible to the naked eye. Okay. Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, you can't see with the naked eye. Saturn, you can see with the naked eye, and it will go higher than any wandering star. That's why I was given the name by the Canaanites, El Elyon, because it was the most high of the gods. The gods are nothing more than the planets. El, Isis, Ra, and El. The moon, sun, and planets, led by El, Saturn, the highest of the wandering stars. And that's the one they worship. So, it's known as the Most High, Elyon El. It's also known as the Star of Justice. It's also known as Horus the Bull. It's also known as the Aged One. So the Greeks personified it as Chronos, meaning time itself. So the Greeks turned Saturn into time itself. Saturn is time. But not just chronological time. Chronos, the word chronos means chronological time. But they also, listen to this, and I think this is a good ending point, good cliffhanger. But they changed it to the force that limits and shapes all things. And guess what the word for that is? What's the Bible say? All things are made by, through, and for. Who's the Bible say that is? Christ, right? Well, the Greek word, it has two words for Saturn. Chronos, which is chronological time, and there's another word that means the force that limits and shapes all things. And the word is Chyros. Chyros. Now remember, Chi-ro. Here we have Cairo. As in Egypt, Cairo, they were worshiping Saturn. Cairo, Egypt. Kairos is the name that the Greeks also gave Saturn. So why are they calling Saturn Kairos, and they're calling the Christos the Cairo or the Chi-ro? Christ on the cross. The cross is an unfolded cube. So now we have a little dilemma here. I think I want to leave it right there. I'll add a few little things. The Romans took it even further and deemed Saturn the god of the Golden Age, who not only limited but liberated. Their most important temple, the Romans, was the temple of Saturn, right? It was at Capitoline Hill. You know, we have Capitol Hill here. Well, the Romans had Capitoline Hill, and it was called the Ararium, which was the state treasury. So now we have the Romans consolidating time and money. Saturn. So the Saturn moon matrix, the Moony and time coming together. The Ararium on Capitol Hill. Okay, the temple of Saturn, the Kairos. All right. So you know those things. Man, my time is money. Well, there you go. The backwards word for time is emit. Emit energy. Money is based off of the false paradigm of the moon, money. That's why all your bills are due monthly. By money, moony, every month or moon. You got to give them moony. Okay? So Saturn has a 29.5 year cycle. That means with the sun and the 12 zodiacal zodiac signs. And it aligns remarkably with human generational cycles, making it a natural timekeeper of human lifespans. About every 29.5 years, 30 years, it returns to the same position and stays there about 3 years. That's the story of Christ. So the Chyros, aka Saturn, returns at 30. Christ starts his teaching. It remains 3 years. And then he's crucified on the Saturn cube. When it leaves, we're going to get into that mystery on part 2. So, and one thing I will add, so Saturn has a 29.5 year cycle. The moon has a 29.5 day cycle. Saturn moon matrix. Part 2, hopefully we're going to get it going tomorrow. We're going to keep it going. Guys, I love all of you. You know, I don't like it when there's a long hiatus in between teachings. You know, it's my passion. I've had a lot going on. Like I said, nothing negative, but a lot going on. And as some of you know, I am working in real time to get this community started. So as always, I always say, if you have this really worthless thing that we call money, and you're able to send some to as an energetic seed from your soul in the physical realm, so you know, I will be able to use it against them while we still can. I will leave the links for the donations, and it's all appreciated and greatly appreciated. I love each and every one of you. And part 2, it's going to get better and better. This one was a little rough. You had to be patient. I appreciate all your patience. That is truly a virtue. I had to lay the foundation, because if I didn't do this, if I just would have jumped in, y'all just would have been sitting here like, I don't get it. So I had to do this part. So if you could stay in this, the next parts, it'd probably be at least three, part 3, maybe probably up to part 4, and it will get finished. So hopefully part 2 will be tomorrow. So I love you guys. As like I said, when it posts on YouTube, I'll put the links up and all that stuff for the donations. Some of my thank you to my moderators. Thank you to all of you. And if you do know the links or whatever, you guys can, my mods can post them too. But I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. And as always, Mësët.